Today's video is all about solar. We're going to be connecting the Victron app to the SolarFlex 440i Smart Solar and Smart Shunt in the Montana high country that we just got. We were having trouble, but we'll find out what that's all about right after this. So I have a very special episode of Our Road to Camelot this week. I've been having some issues when we first got the Montana high country connecting to the VictronConnect app, and we're trying to connect the Smart Solar Charge Controller, the MPPT 100 series, and the Smart Shunt that is down below here. So this is where it is in relation to the whole system in the front. Now the problem I was having is that it recognized the actual devices in the app, which it's supposed to, but it doesn't show up in Bluetooth, and it would not do a final connect. It would get to 80%, and then it would ask for the password again, or the PIN number, which the default PIN number is 60000000, and it would ask for those 6 numbers, and I would type it in, and then it would go to 80% again, and then ask again. It does that 3 times, and then it kicks me out and gives me another message that it was not able to connect. Did a lot of searching. What I discovered in the checking is that I had to reset the PIN number to both the Smart Charge Controller and for the Smart Shunt. The problem was I was having a hard time finding exactly how to do that. I did the whole troubleshooting thing with Victron, and I would highly recommend that if you are having trouble, go through that document first, because you may be having an issue that is one of those issues. And I actually went through those steps they did, shutting off the device, restarting the solar, powering it down, powering it back on, that whole thing. So basically what wound up happening is I had to actually reset the pin, and when you go to do that, it's asking for what's called a PUK number. I think it's rather fitting, because I wanted to puke a few times after messing with it for a while. But no, the PUK number, they didn't really explain what that was, so I decided, okay, let's find out what PUK is. I also this is kind of new to me as well, I wasn't 100% sure the difference between the shunt and the charge controller. Well, here are the differences. The shunt actually gives you the status of your batteries. How much power are you charged up to, and it gives you all the particulars on your batteries. The charge controller tells you what your solar is doing and how much energy is coming in from the solar going to the batteries. So you want both of those to work. Well, I finally found out that the PUK number is right on the side over here on the Smart Charge Controller. So you see the little sticker over there, I'll have a close-up of that. And then down here on your Smart Shunt, it's on this side of the Smart Shunt. What I would advise you to do is use your camera, take a picture of both of those, then write it down on a piece of paper, and then go into the app to type it in. Unfortunately, the app does not let you go back and forth between your camera and back to the app and keep typing. Once you leave the Victron app, when you go back in, it goes back to the beginning of that thing to type it in. So unless you've got a really good memory, write it down, then go back in and type it in. So that really is all it took, and everything hooked up and is working fine now. But the weird thing is that I could not find that information anywhere. There were people who had the same problem that were saying, yeah, I get to 80%, and then the whole thing shuts down. And the people that were trying to help them out were asking all these questions, but never once told them how to reset that. So there it is. That's really all it took. It was a real simple fix, but it was very frustrating as well, because it didn't appear obvious. At least I'm getting into solar now. I was not a solar aficionado before. I had no idea how this all worked, and now that I'm understanding it more, it does make sense. But that is probably, if you are having that same problem where it's kicking you out, it means that somebody probably had logged in before and had not reset the PUK number. And when you do reset it, it sets it back to those zeros. But and I would highly recommend come up with a new PIN number once you get that done. So we're going to take a look at the app itself now. So if I go ahead and hit VictronConnect, This shows my smart shunt, and right now it's 14.34 volts, charges at 100%, and there's really nothing being used out of it at the moment. If I tap on this, it kind of gives me the same information, but it'll load in first. It's connecting. Right, so it's showing 100% charge, and it's giving me the voltage, the current, the power, the consumption at the moment, which is 0, time remaining 0. So remember, this is our battery. So if I go back out and I hit the smart solar, this is telling me what the solar is doing. So right now it's bringing in 31 watts, showing me the voltage, the current, the solar. It's showing me actually the battery voltage, current, and status. And if I go up here to the top on history, it's showing me today, it's still pretty early this morning. It hasn't brought in that much yet. Yesterday was a really cloudy day, a lot of wind, there was rain in the morning, so it was pretty low. It shows each day. 4 days ago we had a really great day here in Arizona, nice and sunny. So that's kind of showing you the history. I'm going to try an experiment right now. I'm going to go out to our pedestal, shut the power off to the rig, and then come back in and see just how this has all changed. All right, so the only thing running inside at the moment is the refrigerator. I'm going to turn on a few lights too once we take a look at the status and see how that might change things. So let's first take a look at the smart shunt. So right now, with just one light on in my room and the refrigerator running, consumption, oh, there was something there. It just went away. It had time remaining. Oh, there it is. It's flashing on and off. Time remaining 10 days. So we're using very little power at the moment. And at this point, it's going to be either the solar is actually running everything at the moment, or it'll be 10 days. Tell you what, before we change that, let's try one more thing. Hopefully we don't pop the system, but let's turn on a few more lights. And we'll turn on a fan. So now we have a fan going. I think there's already a fan going in the bathroom. But let's take a look here and see what's happened. Still showing 10 days, but it's not flashing at me anymore. So it looks like our solar is going to hold up good. Do I dare try turning on the heater in the living room? Maybe I should just turn on the TV first. Let's turn on the TV. So TV's on. Let's see if that changes anything. Oh yeah, that did it. So with the fans and the TV, we are now down to 3 days, 5 hours at this rate. So that's what probably happened that first time when we were using it. The fact that we were running the TV, it does draw more power than you might think. So let's shut that TV off and come back one more time. Okay, we're back down to just the refrigerator and the light in the room I'm in. And immediately it's back to full power, and time remaining is blank because it's not going to run out of charge at this rate. So that's actually pretty slick the way that works. Now that's the smart shunt that tells us the battery. Smart solar, let's go ahead and tap on that one. So it's showing that we are getting the maximum voltage in, the wattage, all that. Let's turn on some things again and see if this changes. All right, everything's running again. Let's see where it takes us. Okay, I'll compare this with what we had before, but this is actually pretty cool. So it's giving us the information, what's happening both for with it on and with it off. Maybe I'll do a side-by-side window here so you can kind of see that. But according to this, we should be able to last some time, a couple of days anyways, even watching TV, as long as we're not watching it at night after the sun goes down. I'm sure if I did this experiment tonight, instead of time remaining in days, it's going to be time remaining in hours. So I might actually do that and then compare that with you on how that turns out. So let's go ahead and wait till tonight and see how this all changes again. All right, so this is nighttime. I waited till the sun went down, so it's definitely dark outside. If I go to the smart solar, it's obviously nothing is coming in. So it's all pretty much zero, state of off. If I go back out and check out the shunt, and remember this is the battery is showing time remaining 1 day, 4 hours, which isn't bad. We have some lights on in the living room, we have the lights outside on, and I have a light in the office here. So with that going on, we're talking a day and 4 hours, 28 hours, but there's obviously nothing coming into it, but it is consuming power. So we're gonna go ahead and turn the TV on and let's see what change happens. Okay, so now we quickly dropped to 22 hours and dropping fast. So 22.5 hours, our consumption has picked up some. The TV does take its toll. Yeah, it's going down fast when you look at it. It's already down to 20 hours, 20 minutes, and it's dropping in huge increments. So that's what happened the one time that we actually spent the night and watched TV for quite a few hours, and it basically drained the battery. Yeah, we're at 19 hours, 18 hours. So yeah, so shutting the TV back off, notice that the time is coming back up again. We're now back to 19. So the TV does take a lot of juice, and if you're going to watch TV, I would suggest don't do it at night. Otherwise, your battery won't last through the night. But with only the lights on, and it's what we're running is the refrigerator, the lights, and we have some outdoor lights. This thing will last a full day without any problems at all. In fact, it's back up to 22 hours. So yeah, it's climbing back up because we're not using the power that we were using before. So that's it. 440 watts of power with the two 100 amp lithium batteries will kind of let you boondock. So that's a good thing. You just got to be careful and watch your consumption. So let's go ahead and get back into the rest of the video. So I have one last experiment that I'm going to be doing tonight. I will be shutting the power off to the rig and let it go overnight and see where we're at in the morning. So right now, as I have it set up here, we're showing that the smart shunt, which is reading the battery, is showing 99%. I'm not sure why it's showing 99. We're plugged in. It should be 100%. But it's 99%. Time remaining 10 days. And consumption is negative 1.5. So there's some phantom power pulling it out before off the battery, and I'm not even sure what that would be at this point, but I'm not worried about that yet. So tell you what, we'll check in first thing in the morning and I will let you know where we stand. I have just now shut off the power, and I've come back in here just to take a look for a final look before we go to bed tonight. And right now we're showing state of charge 99%. The time remaining now is 1 day. It did show 23 hours a minute ago. Now it's back up to a full day, 24 hours. And there is some consumption because I have a couple of lights on. Obviously, I'm in the room right here. So we'll use that as a basis for when we go to bed, and we'll take a look at it first thing in the morning. So let the experiment go on. Yeah, good morning, good morning, good morning. So I got up at 7:30 about 15 minutes ago, and I went ahead and did a quick screenshot just to get an idea of where we are at. Actually, it said we were at 60%. We're now at 58%. It's 7:45. This is the shunt, by the way. This is the battery. Voltage is at 12.57. It's changing 5.8. Current is a negative 14.66, draw 61. Notice it is getting less. The sun is coming up. Power, wattage consumed, and time remaining still about 8 hours left on there. So remember last night it had a full day. So apparently it did drain a lot more, but this is probably more accurate right now. And I'll take a look to see if that is going to be going up at all. That's 7 hours, 47 minutes. Anyways, let's go ahead and check what's happening on the solar. Last night, obviously, solar wasn't doing anything. And right now, fetching data, we have 12 watts coming in. Let's see. So yeah, it's kind of bouncing around between 24, 19, yep. And then the current at 0.6 amps, 7 amps coming in. So it'll probably climb as the sun keeps going up. All right, let's check one more thing. Hey Siri, what time was sunrise this morning? Okay, so the sunrise was at 7:10. So it only had just come up, and it's only been up for 30 minutes. So 24, yeah, 35 minutes right now, 36. So that was sunrise this morning, and I don't expect it to be pulling full power for a little while still. So anyways, that's basically where we are at. Let's go back to the smart shunt, and we're still riding at 58%, 7 hours, 47 minutes. So that hopefully will be going up. That's still pretty good, considering that we only, when I got up this morning, only a few minutes after sunrise, that we were at 60%, so we didn't even use half the battery life overnight. Now remember, with
lithium batteries, you can bring those things all the way down to 0. So you don't have to worry about, oh, I'm going to damage them after I go below 50%. That's not the truth with lithium. So I wanted to give one little extra bit of information of what was running last night while we had the power shut off. As you probably heard, maybe not, the furnace has been kicking on and off all night long. So the blower for the furnace would be running. The refrigerator is only electric, so it was running off the solar as well. If there was any phantom power draws, I discovered that we do have the 7 outlets. We do have the TV, and there are some things plugged into the TV that were remaining on. Our hotspot, even though the TV was off, it always has juice going through it. There's a couple of other things like our Alexa and a few things of that nature sitting behind the TV that's running through that circuit. I had my phone plugged into the circuit, the second circuit that is operating the 2 theater seats, and they also have plug-ins to those, and I actually had my phone plugged into that to keep it charged overnight. So I had juice when I got up this morning. I did mention the refrigerator. The other outlet that's in the kitchen was nothing was plugged into that. Dawn had a number of devices plugged into the inverter outlet that is over her bed, and we do have an inverter outlet in the under storage, and nothing was plugged into that either. There are 7 outlets throughout the coach. I wish I could have chosen which ones I wanted throughout the coach. That would have been a good thought. Actually, I could have. It was an extra charge. At the time, I didn't think I needed it. Now, I wish I had taken that time to order those, because I would love to have one in the office. I would love to have had one over my side of the bed. So these are possible upgrades down the road. Anyways, back to the video. One other plus shout out to Keystone, unrelated to solar. I got up this morning, decided to take a quick shower before doing this video, and as I got in the shower I realized, oh no, I forgot to switch the hot water heater over to the gas. And to my pleasant surprise, there was still enough hot water in the hot water tank, and still well hot enough to be able to take a shower, that I didn't even have to take a short shower, to be honest. It lasted the whole time. The Keystone is putting in some really nice hot water heaters in the new Montana high country. The Cougar we had, if I took a shower in the morning, Dawn had to wait till it got hot again because all the hot water is used in one shower. Now actually it lasts quite a long time, so it's a very good upgrade. Thank you, Keystone, for that one. So that's going to be it for this video on solar. Yeah, this has been kind of an interesting experiment, playing around with the thing. Make sure that if you like this video, give us a thumbs up, hit that subscription button, and the notification bell lets you know when we post every Sunday at 2 o'clock. And until next time, safe travels, and we'll see you on the road.